Hi there, this is Stephanie from Fork and Knife Teacher. Food safety. We are going to talk food safety. So I have a Google Slides for my food safety sequence for hazard analysis critical control points. HACCP is our short form for that. And so we're going to talk about the food safety sequence through these Google Slides. And so, of course, here's our intro page. And then kind of the goal of the food safety sequence, right? Keeping foods out of that danger zone temperature range. And then I have an overview of the sequence here. So then this is kind of like your table of contents for how the slideshow is set up. So of course, first is receiving. So what you do, kind of like a checklist for when food arrives at your location, whether that's your classroom kitchen or the restaurant theoretically, or even your home, right? These are all totally applicable to at your home as well. And ways to store food in your facility, in the kitchen, and then a few things that pertain to like restaurants, right? Like locking up alcohol always, and things like that. But some tips about what you do and why you do it. I find it's really important for students to know why do I have to have it off the floor, and it kind of talks about that and pest control and air movement and things like that. So then a little bit more on receiving and checking items. Okay, freezing. Some tips on how to freeze food well, and what not to do with food that's like really hot that you're cooking with, that you want to cool, and not to just like shove it in your fridge or your freezer because it'll thaw all the stuff around it. And then a little bit more on freezing. Then we get into thawing. And some images there and some text to help students kind of understand different techniques of thawing. And after thawing, we've got refrigeration. What some tips for how to refrigerate well, again, kind of similar to how to freeze well. There's a way to do it well to be the most successful at it and to keep your fridge temperature where it should be. A lot of it has to do with not putting that really hot food in there that will lower the temperature fridge. And some of the differences between like a condiment or prep fridge. I don't know if you've seen like on a kitchen line, sometimes like the sandwich area has a little like prep fridge area with like cutting board and stuff on top and a fridge underneath. Those have to be kind of treated a little bit more gently than say like a full-size stand-up fridge. Sometimes they're not often kept as cold and a little harder to maintain the temperatures in that. And then your food prep station, working in the danger zone when you have foods that are out and you're working with them, how to work with them. And then, of course, cooking the foods, how to cook foods to move it through that danger zone temperature range well, or to, what to do while it's in that zone of danger zone where that bacteria can multiply. And then getting into temperatures of meats, obviously for when you're cooking, some minimum temperatures or temperatures you want to get them to for different levels of doneness. And then holding food. So, whether you're holding it to go out to an individual table or you're holding it for customers to come and purchase, or you're holding it on a buffet line. Some tips on temperatures for holding that. And then, of course, cooling the food. So if it didn't sell or wasn't eaten and you want it for leftovers, something like that, how to cool it well so that it stays safe. And then see if I can click. I think I have to move my head. And then I'll move myself all the way up here. Some more tips on cooling foods well. And then lastly, of course, reheating. So you've got that cooled food, you want to use it the next day. How do you use it? And so that is the slideshow about food safety sequence for hazard analysis critical control points, HACCP. And you can find this on Teachers Pay Teachers. So my stores is FCS, Fork and Knife. You can find me there, or YouTube. I'm at Fork and Knife Teacher, or my website. Check